Welcome to Polish Up, Megan. It's fabulous to have you here. For anyone who doesn't know you or hasn't found your channel, how would you describe it and what you do? Tell us a bit about you.
Excellent question. So I'm Megan. If you don't know, my channel is SecretDevilYT's Nail Obsession because I am obsessed with nails. I am not a nail tech. I am not a nail professional, but I am a nail enthusiast. And what makes me a little bit different than a lot of nail channels is I specialize in regular nail polish, whether it is hand painting, stamping, foils, like whatever. I work with nail polish, the air dry kind, and so that's got its own techniques and learning curve, but it's my favorite medium. And with the years of practice I've got under my belt at this point, I can do some really cool stuff.
So that's going to be a bit different for lots of people watching and is definitely different for me. So why has it always been your preference?
So nail polish thins as it dries, and like gel, for example, it doesn't. And so you put very many layers and it starts to get pretty thick. And the kind of art that I do involves a lot of layers. Additionally, I am allergic to gel polish, which is strange because so far it's really only the paints, not like the builder products. If I want to use like a gel glue, fine. Polygel, fine. Hard gel, fine. But the polishes mess my fingers up. So I'm like, that's kind of wild. But I like the way that the paint works. And then like when you're adding on decorations, I like that it dries as I go. So I'm not chasing rhinestones around my nail because they're sliding everywhere because it's drying as I'm working. It's just a different technique, but I suppose I find it easier since I'm used to it.
So how long did it take you to get used to it? I suppose I panic a bit that with gel, you can wipe it off if you don't like it. It's that. I remember Linda said to me, well, it's not tattooed on, and you can just like take it off. But you can't do that with lacquer.
Yes, you're definitely right about that one. So that's one of the drawbacks is like it's a one shot. Either you get it right or you start over. And I have made lots of ugly nails and I've done a lot of starting over. It was probably early COVID times when I even started painting my nails. And boy, if we look at those throwbacks, you can see it was a different story back then. So there's been a lot of development, but when I fell down the rabbit hole, I fell down it hard. And I have spent years spending all of my free time watching nail YouTube because you don't know what you don't know. And then practice, of course, has made a huge difference, but that does not mean that I don't still make ugly nails and still have to start over sometimes.
And we all. There's a video going up on Monday of me having to start over and start over and start over. But there you go. So
yes,
fluid art, what is it? I was really intrigued when you said, oh, we'll do fluid art. And I was like, okay, tell me about it.
Okay, so fluid art is a technique of marbling. I discovered it when I found an Instagram collab, and someone in that group had to actually teach me how to do it because it is not intuitive. It is not beginner friendly. Like it takes the nuance, and until you understand what those are, it's really hard. It took me a long time to figure it out, and someone made me a video of how to fluid art for dummies. And then I got it, and it's been different ever since. But I love it because the type of marbling it makes is unlike any other marbling technique. And it's more like it makes cells. And so it Think of like when you have oil on your nail and you paint it with gel and it like separates, it does that, but intentionally. So it's almost like a spider web sometimes. And it's an adaptation of acrylic pour. So this type of art was originally canvas art, but they made it work for nail polish. And because it is an abstract technique, no two will ever be the same, ever. And they can be vastly different depending on how you squish, how you place your polishes, what kind of fluid art polish you use, which is a thing. You have to have a specific product to do this at all.
Yep.
But overall, the results are very cool. Basically, you make these in a decal style. You can't do it directly onto the nail. But once you make the decals, then you can add them to the nail. And that helps you pick the placement also. So if you like this section of the decal a little bit better, just use that section. So that's pretty cool.
So now you've scared me when you said it's not beginner friendly.
It's not, but
So-
I'm going to tell it to you in a beginner friendly way.
So before we get going, what's the biggest misconception you think that people have about fluid art?
Boy, I don't know, because I would hate to say that it's a misconception that it's hard, because it's not. It is hard until you understand it. Once you understand it, it's super easy. It's just like, it's one of those things that you can't really figure it out easily, but once you have the understanding of the instructions, then you're like, well, duh, that makes sense. So maybe, I suppose, the misconception would be that you can't, because you absolutely can.
Sounds like you just need a good teacher.
Yes, it makes a huge difference.
Well, shall we get going then?
We should.
Let's
It's
make
fun.
some nails. Okay. Right. So, Megan, I have this box. So these are the ones from Super Chick.
Mhm.
And then there's all these Maniology ones.
Mhm.
And also some from Miss Shearing.
Okay.
So hopefully there's a good selection in there that we can play with.
I think so. I can show you what I brought. So I'm going to do the clear Super Chic because I like the windows. I did a couple of practice runs and I considered doing some white because it does give it more opacity, but I feel like windows is the way to go today. And then for the colors I chose, I'm trying to do something a little bit springy. So I got this light pink, I got a metallic-y light purple, a light blue, and then a metallic-y light greenish. Metallic polishes on their own, for whatever reason, have a tendency to make cells, so they help with the fluid, whereas creams give you more opacity. So I'm like, let me get a little bit of a variety here. And like this one's got a light sparkle in it, this one's got a shimmer, so there's a little bit of special effect too. But these are the colors I'm going to be using.
Ooh, I can't make decisions. Right, so I've gone sort of blues and...
Okay.
Right, so, okay, let's see what happens with these.
Yes. So first thing I recommend is open every bottle and then set them a little bit out of your hand so you're not knocking them over, but also don't put them right next to each other so you don't knock one over trying to grab the other. But you kind of have to move fast, so having them all open already makes that easier.
Okay, so... And down the side rather than reaching over?
I just scoot mine kind of back. I do reach over, but I have, a limited space. It's just whatever's more comfortable.
Join the club.
Yes. Now, there is an important thing to understand about the smush. And smush is the technical term of how you squish it. So
Right.
this is not opaque or not see-through, so I'm going to try and show you before. But when you squish, you don't want to squish hard. You want your mat to just kind of barely touch. And so the way that I do that is I'll push it down on the sides so that I know that that's held together, and then I'll just use my, finger just to do a couple of little like plup, and then you let go and it'll spread. If you squish it too hard, I don't know what about the chemistry, but it breaks the brain cells and it just doesn't.
Okay.
So you want it to just kind of touch, but not that much. And then be careful when you let go, because if it slaps open, it might sling polish. So just kind of let it easily.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. So what I can do, if it'll be helpful, is I can do one all the way through so you can see it before you try, if that's good for you, because we have to move a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. So
you go
first. You start with the fluid art polish. We're just going to make a little like area. And you want to kind of be generous. Like, you're not going to wipe the excess off. Like, you want it to be puddly. And so I just dip a few times and kind of glob it on here. Like, if you think it's too much, it's not.
Okay.
And then I go through my colors and I just kind of put some on. You can put them on top of each other. You can put them in a row. You can put them however you like. It's never the same technique for me. I just grab and put it on here. And then that's when you're ready for the smush. And so you got some on. I'm gonna hold my sides down and then just do a little bit of a squishy and then let it up. And now you'll be able to see it's gonna start to separate. That the color is kind of, let me see if I turn it, if you'll be able to see it easier. Let me also zoom it in so you can see what's happening.
Yeah.
Maybe even like this. Like, so you can kind of see that it's separating, and I used quite a bit of clear with not that much color, so that's why I have these big windows, but I kind of like that.
Yeah.
And then once you have it to this stage, you just leave it alone. You set it somewhere because these have to dry.
Okay.
So I am just going to set this to the side and grab another piece of this.
Okay. So clear, splodge it all over, and then splodges of all the colours.
Yes.
Right.
Like, maybe aim for a puddle size of like a silver dollar, if you know about what that size looks like.
No, but never mind. So mine's probably huge
Just like
now.
A big coin.
Okay.
Definitely bigger than like a quarter. Maybe like the size of a casino chip.
Okay. Maybe like our £2 coin.
Maybe. Yeah. And then
I've gone bigger than that, but
it's okay if it is. The more bigger it is, the more option you have of what piece to use. But you don't want it to be too small and then not fit the nail.
I like this blue.
Yeah, that's really vibrant. I like it. I went for more of a pastel vibe, but I did consider swapping some for some more vibrant colors, but then I'm like, simmer down, lady.
So fold it over and then sort of
Just kind of poke at it to where you can see it do a little bit of a squish. And then gently let it unfold. Now, yours is not very zoomed in, so I can't see what it's doing, but you can tell me. Is it separating? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's going to take a little bit more practice. I do see that like that dark blue that's in the center didn't separate very much. Maybe try a little bit more fluid art polish first.
Okay.
Or smaller globs of the color.
Right.
It's just, there's a learning curve is all.
Yeah.
I'm going to swap mine around so I can use the other end for the next one.
Okay. So you think more
More is always better. Like, it's it's never going to be too much, really. It's just wasteful if you use a lot, but like when you're learning, you kind of need to.
Okay.
This is actually the biggest consumer of nail polish because like when I'm just painting my nails, I don't actually use that much polish. But when I'm doing this, I do use quite a bit because I pour it on there. I'm gonna show you like how big my puddle is in reference to like this bottle of polish. So like it's about as big as a full-size bottle.
Yeah. I think I've done a better squishing job this time.
Okay. Yeah, you'll get used to the practice of whether it's enough squish or too much squish. The more squish, the more it mixes the colors. I like this one. This one I think got some good cells. Yeah, you don't want to do too much squishing. Once you've got a few of them,
okay,
you kind of want to just let it do its thing. And then once you've got those, just set them to the side so they can dry. Of course, if you don't like what you make, you can always just keep making more until you have enough of the ones you like.
Let's have another go.
Okay, I'm ready to. Let's do a little splashy. Now, some people do these in like silicone cupcake liners, and that works too, but it's a little bit different with squishing them because they're cup shaped. So like it's a thing that you can experiment if you like. There we go. And so I did about 5 little squish pokes on this one.
Ah, that's better.
Yeah, see, the practice really helps because you kind of got to get a feel for it. I'm gonna set these to the side because they're gonna need to dry, and I'll bring back the first one that I did so we can look at its progress. It's hard to see on this blue mat, but that's what I use. It's coming along, starting to get dry. The thicker spots take a little bit longer to dry. Are you getting cells?
I think so.
Yeah, a little bit. And you can always, if you want, put a couple more drops of the fluid art on top of the color to help it spread out.
Okay.
It's really, you just need about twice as much fluid art polish as the other polish. And you gotta move pretty fast because it's drying the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, like before you do the squishes, if you put a couple more drops on there, I don't know if it's gonna help once you've already done the squishing.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. You can also experiment with pressing just a little bit harder. Because like I do it with like the end of my finger, so it's doing a very small area at a time, but I do touch the other mat. That way it's mostly a light squish, but some of it makes a little bit more of a point of contact. I feel like that forces it to spread a little bit more.
So just talk me through it, just because mine don't look anything like that.
So when I do the fluid art, I do like a bit of a dab because I'm just kind of trying to get a pile going on the mat, and kind of thick, like so if like you were to spill it, like a lot, like not painting it thin because we want a lot of fluid space.
Okay.
And then the reason I just leave my bottles open is so I can quickly just pick them up, glob some on, put it down, grab the next one, because it's drying the entire time. So the longer it takes, the more dry it is, and the more dry it is, the less it will separate.
That could be my problem.
Yeah, so just throw some on there. And then just give it like 3 good squishes. Not hard, but like enough that you can feel it's touching. And then let go. And it should separate. And then like just be mindful of the size, because you might need bigger surface area, because like realistically when you're putting it on the nail, you want the decal to be big enough that it overhangs all of the edges so that you're not having to use the edges of the decal, because that's where the polish is going to be the thickest and not exactly separated. So like
so what you're saying is make them bigger.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the more space you have, the more opportunity it has to separate. So like you see this nail and how much I have decal around that size.
Yeah.
It's so that I only have to use a small portion of it and it has more room to spread. This is definitely not about conserving polish.
Oh.
You try not to do that. You're touching it with a part of the mat that doesn't have polish on it. You only want polish to touch polish. Think of it like, I'm gonna hold this one. Like if you're making a little like taco and you want to squish these together, you just want the polish to touch the polish like in here. But like if it's touching a part that doesn't have any, it's not gonna have anything to make it separate. You're just squishing the puddle together.
Fine again. Well. I think I can see that one spreading. Is it? Yeah, that one feels like.
Yeah, I think it's like a mastering of how much polish versus how much fluid art polish. And it definitely, you want your total amount of colors to be less volume than your fluid art polish, but you want to use a variety of colors to get a nice, marbly effect. So you just kind of have to experiment with your ratios.
Yeah.
And then let me know when you have enough of them that you like.
We could be here all day. It will be, let me know when you've run out of silicone, Lorna. And then we'll have to choose. I don't know whether some of these are just too thick.
And I mean, it's hard to say because it's the, practice. Because they do need to be an amount of thick so they have some viscosity to flow. But the thicker it is, the longer it takes to dry. So what do you think?
Well, I quite like the design that's coming out just by squishing them.
Mm-hmm.
Even though sometimes I haven't got any cells, if that makes sense.
No, it does, because sometimes I also don't get cells. It just, that's the magic of abstract. You never know what you're gonna get, but the idea is to try and get cells, but sometimes the polishes that you're using just don't like making cells. But it's a marble, and so marbles can look like whatever.
Yeah, and mine definitely look like whatever. Oh, God. Okay. Let me off on the head then. But I've definitely got some we can play with, I think.
Okay. All right. So pick out some of your old ones that you don't want to use so that we can practice peeling them off the mat.
Okay.
Because the older ones are the dry ones.
Yeah. I'll just put the polishes away so I don't end up with...
Yes. That's why I have to close mine up, because I will knock them over and have a terrible mess going.
I think that's going to be that's the driest one.
Okay. So just like touch it and make sure it feels dry everywhere. You can do a little bit of a squish on the thickest parts to see if it's still gummy or if it's dry enough, because you want it to be dry enough that it's not going to get everywhere when you peel this up. But like, I wouldn't recommend making these the day before, because then they're going to be crispy AF and it's really hard to mold them to the nail shape. When it's only been a little while, they're flexible.
Yeah. Well, these seem to be peeling off okay, look.
Good. Yeah, I find that rolling the mat helps them to let go. And then just set them to the side.
Maybe a bit.
Yeah, if it's not dry enough, it'll probably resist peeling up and you'll want to give it some more time.
Yeah. Oh, time for nails. Right, let's have a look.
See, this one, it had a wet spot, so it didn't peel up right there, but that's the edge, so I don't care. I'm not going to use that. Sometimes I accidentally rip my decal, and it really makes me mad when I rip it across the spot I wanted to use. These ones were my most recent ones. They might not be ready to peel. That one's being quite resistant. Yeah, that one's too wet.
So you know I had all these good plans that I was going to have the nails prepped and everything. Didn't happen.
Well, there's not much you have to do, so my nails are clear. I did put my peel off base coat because I always do, but I'm just going to apply these directly on there because these are the design. You don't have to have an undercolor if you don't want one. Ugh, this one's kind of wet. I'm making a mess.
So do these need priming or anything, or?
The only thing you're going to have to do is make them sticky. And for that, I am going to use this sticky base coat, but I'm going to work one nail at a time. If you're using gel, you can use a gel base coat and just leave the sticky layer on there. You just basically need something to make this decal stick to your nail.
Okay.
And like, it also can be like a transfer foil glue, just anything that makes it sticky.
I was just thinking I might use my Madam Glam transfer gel.
Yeah, that would work just fine. I'm doing this air dry base coat, so I like to paint it on, and then I give it like 30 to 45 seconds to get semi-dry. That way it is tacky, but not super wet. But I gotta do it one nail at a time, because if I do more than one, it'll be dry before I get there.
Yep.
So for this one, I'm gonna pick one of my decals. I picked this one just because. And then you kind of just like hold it over the nail to get a visual idea of where you want it to be placed. And then once you've decided, that's when you stick it down and rub it in. So I'm just gonna kind of look at how I want to position this one. And I think maybe like this. And I just start by pressing the spine down and then roll, don't rub, because you don't want to tear it, from side to side until it's completely stuck down. It's okay if you get seams, because the top coat will take care of that. You can always cut these out first if you know about how much you need, but if you don't, then just stick it on there and remove the excess after. For the going around the cuticle, I just use this cuticle pusher and I just kind of cut it.
So it's gonna be easier.
Yes. And then you can kind of just rip it off on the edges because it's paint. Yeah. And then once you get it all smushed down onto the nail the way you like it, just use like a cleanup brush with some acetone to clean up your edges, seal them down and all that jazz. So that's the thumb that I've got going here.
Wow.
I'll get all of my decals put on before I start the whole finishing and top coating stuff. And that also gives time for this to, settle and dry.
Yep.
Let's see, which one do I want to use next?
So,
was this one? Yeah, that's cute.
so Madam Glam foil gel.
Yeah, just as long as it'll hold it on there.
Oh, it'll hold it on. I've had instances where I've had gloves on and the gloves and the foil have all stuck.
Oh.
Yeah. It was right funny. Deciding which ones I like now.
I know, that's the hard part, and then which piece of it, because sometimes you like a lot of it, but you only got so much nail.
No, I think I haven't been as ooh. No, I quite like that one. It looks like a jellyfish.
Ooh, that's fun.
It might end up being that one first.
I don't know if this one's my favorite, but it's okay. I mean, it does have a good marbly area. They just aren't very distinct, I think, but that's fine. Sometimes it is what it is.
Yeah. What do you think? Oh,
looks good.
bit
I like it.
tougher.
And that's one of the things I love about using the clear polish, because it lets you have clear spots.
This is a lot like foils when you're putting them on.
Kinda, yeah, because it's the same concept, really. Once you've made it into a decal, it's just applying it like you would anything else.
So how long have you been how long have you been playing with nails, and then how long have you been YouTubing?
I think I started my YouTube channel in 2022, but I'd been doing minimal nail painting and experimental nail art probably for a year or two before that, but I was still very much learning. So I remember when I discovered that people paint their nails on YouTube, and I was like, I love watching this. And I'm like, surely someone will like to watch me paint my nails. It's so relaxing. And so I started out just making shorts of me painting my nails and just sped up. And then the more I watched, the more options I became aware of, and then it just escalated.
And so how many subscribers have you got now?
I'm almost at 10K. I think I need like 12 or 13 more as of today. This last like 25 subscribers, I don't know. It's been a hurdle because it seems like every time I gain one, I lose two. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? Come on now. And I'm trying to do this giveaway. So I've got a giveaway planned for my 10K celebration. I've got so much stuff because like I just keep getting PR and I have everything. I have all the equipment I need. Like I have lots of products. And so I'm like, I don't need to hoard these. And so everything I've just been adding to this pile. And I'm going to do like a multi giveaway. So I'm going to make little bundles. And so there will be several different like types of bundles so that like people can enter for the types of products they want to use and they don't have to enter for the things they don't. And you can enter for as many as you want or as few as you want. And that way you're not winning a bunch of crap that you're just going to have to figure out what to do with.
Yeah, that you're just going to pass on.
Opportunities. I'm hoping that I'll be able to fill a need somewhere, that maybe whatever someone can win is something that they don't have and they've been wanting to try or needing or whatever the case is, because I do have a variety of things.
Yeah. Well,
I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, no.
YouTube is an interesting animal because like even though I have as many subscribers as I have, I'm not monetized. I don't get paid for it because I don't have enough watch hours. So it's like, I don't know, like some people get a lot of watch hours with very few subscribers, and then there's people like me who can get subscribers but they don't actually watch, so it doesn't make much of a difference. But it's still, you know, a benchmark's a benchmark. And I do it for the love of it. And I think that probably doesn't do me any favors since I don't follow trends and I don't necessarily tailor my content to feed the algorithm. I try to, you know, work with the algorithm as best as I can, but I do YouTube because I love it. And if it becomes to where it's a grind and I'm not loving it, then like, what's the point?
Exactly. Yeah.
PR is really hard to get into. I think it's one of those things where you have to show up and start doing the work on your own budget until they see you. Because I remember that like when I was starting and I was trying to get part of branding, I would just buy like products on Amazon and stuff and review them and then just tag them. So like anybody that you have an opportunity to tag in something, tag them because they might see what you did and they might like it. Savvyland's my biggest PR partner, but Madame Glam was my first. Right. Other than one Amazon brand that gave me one box of gel polish. But like when you first start doing PR, you don't know what they really want from you because they don't tell you. They're just like, just do whatever you want. And you're like, that's not a real answer. It's easiest to make review content on long form because you can actually say things and talk about it. But short form, like you have to really condense it down, but it is universal. So like if you make a short video, just post it everywhere. You can put it on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube because they all accept short form. It's only long form that you're limited. That's the thing is you've got to have something that makes you different from the rest because there's so many nail tubers already. Exactly. That people are already, like, they've got their folks. They're watching it. And if you're doing the same thing they are, then they're going to be like, why do I need to see someone else do this thing that I already did?
Yeah.
So that's why I hope that the fact that I do nail polish instead of gel is that thing for me. But it's a double-edged sword because there's a lot of people who don't care to see how to do it with nail polish because they don't use nail polish because it's hard. I've got all of my nails put on. So if you're doing regular nail polish, this is where we're gonna diverge. This is where I'm gonna cover all of these with the Maniology Aqua Topper. It takes a little bit of time to dry, so that's what I'll do, and that's gonna protect the marbles from melting with my regular top coat. If you're doing gel, you don't need this step because gel does not melt nail polish.
Right. What do you think?
I like them. I really like the colors that you picked.
That pink and blue go really well together, don't they?
It does. All right, now I am going to Sèche Vive
Mm.
as my final top coat, and I like to do a nice generous layer because I like a thick and glossy finish. Of course, you can always mattify as well, depending on what your preferences are. And then also, like, you can use this sort of technique as a background. So, like, let's say you made some cool marbles, but you want to put some stamping on top, you can.
Yeah.
They're looking real good.
There you go. What do you think of those?
I like them.
Yeah, I'm liking that. So a lot of nail content focuses, and we've been talking about this, on gel and acrylic. Why do you think regular polish still deserves more love?
Because there is a huge population of people who are allergic to gel and monomer, and they shouldn't be excluded from the nail community just because those products are not the best, when most things can be adapted to work with regular polish, and technically nail extensions can be put on with nail glue. Like, it doesn't have to be gel.
So what would you say to somebody who thinks they can't do creative nail art without professional products?
Hooey. Most of those products come from the same factories as the cheap products, and then the markup is just based on what that brand decided it was worth. So start with beginner products, and they can work for you. If you want to upgrade to more expensive products, you absolutely can, but the price of a product does not determine the quality or the usability.
So you talk about nails being calming and grounding. Does fluid art play a special role in that for you?
I don't know if I have a difference based on it being fluid art. For me, what it is just the process of sitting down. I disconnect. I like to turn on a book and listen to that while I do it, but my mind separates from the rest of the world, and all I'm doing is focusing on the technique, the creation of what I'm doing, and then getting it on there. Plus, it's beautiful, and that gives me a lot of satisfaction. So if it's fluid art, if it's nail stamping, whatever kind of art I'm doing, the process and the creation and then seeing the outcome is really what does it for me. And it can take hours, and it's crazy because you don't feel like it does. It feels like a quick set. You throw it on, you're like, oh, I'm done. But then you look at the clock and it's 2 hours later and you're like, what? But it's just so soothing. Unless you're having a bad nail day, then you need to take a break and come back later, because that gets frustrating.
That's it.
Yes. Sometimes I get so mad. I'm like, never mind. I'm just not doing this.
So how do you try and keep it fun then, rather than it getting frustrating?
I try to remember that it doesn't have to be perfect. And if you make mistakes, it's an opportunity to learn what not to do. And maybe next time when you do try and do that thing again, you'll do it better based on having more knowledge.
Those are so pretty. I'm just looking at that thinking that they'd make really good, like, Bridgerton backgrounds. You could, you know, they're that sort of. Whereas I think I've gone a bit more dramatic, haven't I?
Hey, it's whatever vibe you're going for.
I do tend to be a bit of a drama queen.
That's fine.
So where can people find more of your fluid art tutorials and regular polish tips? So
I do have a ton of videos and content on my YouTube channel, you know, SecretDevilYT's Nail Obsession. A lot of it's long form, some of it's short form, but I do also have short form on Instagram and TikTok, and actually Facebook is where everything comes together. So some things that are on my more regular social medias, like the Instagrams, the TikToks, that sort of stuff, is only in one place or the other, depending on the platform and its capabilities. But everything converges on my Facebook. And so that's just listed under my regular name, Megan Langston. And so over there, everything gets copied. And so if you use Facebook, it's a great resource just to see everything I post about everything. But if you have a favorite platform, likely I also have that platform. And also, I forget about Threads by extension because it's just part of Instagram.
And finally, what do you hope people feel after watching you create fluid art?
I hope people feel the confidence to try something new, whether it is fluid art or regular marbling, or if they're just new and just curious. I hope that I can explain things and show things in a way that makes it seem more accessible. Like I don't want to project perfection. I don't want my videos to look like I do everything perfect all the time, because that's not the case. And that's why I like to leave in the mistakes and what I do about it. So hopefully if anybody else encounters those issues, they'll have somewhere to start.
Amazing. Megan, thank you so much for coming on Polish Up. I really appreciate it. And I love these, and it's been really fun. And I know it was we need to tell everybody about where to get the fluid art polish, don't we?
Oh, we probably should, yeah.
We should, yeah. So we will, it's super chic. And I will make sure that I get the link in the description down below, and I will pop their a clip from their website up on the top. But it took a little while, didn't it, for my polishes to arrive. So if you are in the UK, it took a few weeks, but we got there in the end, and it's been well worth it.
Yes, so much fun. Thank you so much for having me. I have had a great time.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I've had a lovely afternoon. Thank you very much. And enjoy the rest of your day, Megan.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'll see you later.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
We laugh.